Wilson Morales from Black Women TV talking to Mychala Lee regarding the season 3 of Truth Be Told. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So there's a lot going on with your character this season. We won't get into it since we have more weeks to go. But coming into it, did you know your character would be going through a lot this year compared to the previous seasons?
I did. Actually, prior to booking at all for season 2, they did let me know the trajectory of the character just to make sure I was comfortable with everything. So I knew what was happening. I didn't know all the extent of it, though. There's a lot.
And then how is it, 3 seasons, and obviously we've seen your character evolve. How have you evolved as an actress being on this show?
My gosh, I have learned so much and evolved so much as an actress. Working with the greats is like the best experience, just watching them and learning from them. And I've definitely tapped into some characteristics of Trini, how kind she is, how loving she is. And I've taken that with me into my personal life.
With this particular season, you get to interact with a lot more actors than you did in the previous season. So you're learning from Gabrielle and Octavia, and obviously you have Murrah and Mychala already there. Is there anything you picked up from them as you're doing your scenes to help you out?
Yeah, they honestly taught me the importance of just being present. And I know that sounds very simple, but they have such a effortless presence about them that makes me feel like I'm taken care of in the scene, that I am, that I have a great scene partner to work off of. So just being present in life and in acting.
Trini's going through adolescence, obviously the teenage years in high school and so forth, and she's gone through a lot. How do you relate to the character as as she grows?
I relate to her so much. I was also a very naive young girl like Trini was. And so I had to learn from my mistakes a lot and really just grow and go through everything in order to learn from it. And also just, of course, the typical trying to learn how to be who I am and who I truly, define myself as, and separate that from family expectations and just define myself.
This season, particularly on the show, they're dealing with sex trafficking, which is, every season is a heavy subject, and it's dark. For this, even though there's a lot going on with different characters, do you pay attention to the subject at hand that they're diving in per season?
100%. This issue of sex trafficking in particular has been important to me for years. Even prior to booking, I have friends who are advocates for some really great programs who introduced me to the topic, and it's something that I will always be an advocate for even after the show ends. And it's important, and I'm glad that we're tackling this message.
When you're working with different directors on the show, you can never stop learning, and as you mentioned before, you're learning from different actors, but what are you getting from the directors, as opposed to the actors that, they're giving you guidance and wisdom as far as being in the game, staying in the game. But then when you're working with directors, they're going to tell you, especially for you this particular season, where you have to do a lot, what are you getting from different directors that helps you out? Is it mechanism? Is it like facial expressions?
Yeah, it's a little of all of that. I think what I took away from the directors this season is how important it is to be comfortable in your space as an actor. Trini goes through a lot this season, and it can be a lot for me personally as an actress as well. So it was important to just make sure I was aware of where I was in character and where I was as me, and differentiate the two. And yeah, also just being able to watch incredible directors work. I'd actually worked with a few of them before in past seasons and past projects. So it was really cool to be able to learn from all of them.
Is there a happy place or a meeting you go to after you film your scenes that are dark?
Yeah, we had an amazing intimacy coordinator who really helped me de-escalate. So I would step off set, I would go to my trailer, I would put on a meditation, I would, light candles, essence, whatever I needed. And really, honestly, after really big scenes throughout the show, I would just make sure I had something fun set up to do after, whether that was a movie night or, date night, whatever it was.
When you're not on a show, what do you do to stay humble? And you're not having to read your lines or practice with anybody, or you're on set, but you get to be yourself.
Yeah. I think, again, the importance of just being present wherever I am. I've learned how important family is, and I will spend every waking moment with my family when I'm not working. And also the family that you choose and create over the time of filming. Merle and Mychala and Octavia, they truly are like mentors and family members to me. So I think just staying connected to the people as people and not just characters.
This show is one of the longest running shows that's based on a podcast, and with today's world, obviously there's so many things we can do, whether it's watching a show on network and cable and streaming, and now we got podcasts. Sooner or later, I'm sure there's some stuff on YouTube and TikTok. Where do you go to watch anything? Is it a certain show? Are you listening to podcasts? What are you doing when you're not on your own show, but you want to watch somebody else's work?
Yeah, I'm big on podcasts and big on Netflix, Apple TV, all of the streaming, especially Apple TV. We have some really great movies and shows that I think are underrated. But podcasts for sure are like my guilty pleasure. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts and mental health podcasts and all of that. I find it very educating and entertaining.
I was wondering when people say, "Oh yeah, we got Netflix and Apple and pop." Like, all of these things cost. Not everybody has, $5.99, $7.99. That's those things start to add up. But then when we're in the business, we find ways.
I'm still on my parents' Netflix, so we're good.
We find ways, and then at the end of the day, does this show allow you to take what you do here to find other work? Is there anywhere else we're going to see you besides the show?
For sure. Yeah. I have a Netflix film that's out right now called End of the Road with Queen Latifah and Ludacris. And then I'm also in Canada currently filming a Disney Plus series called The Spiderwick Chronicles with Christian Slater and some amazing talented casts as well.
That's right. I did see The End of the Road. How was it working with Queen and Millicent?
That was amazing. And Millicent directed the last episode of Truth Be Told as well. So it was so cool to have that full circle moment of working with her on my first big budget film and then working with her on this amazing series. It was so much fun. So great.
So you got to work with, you've been working so far, Octavia, Gabrielle, Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
You don't get any better than that. Now you Spiderwick Chronicles, which already has a fan base.
Yeah.
What role do you have on that project?
I play Mallory Grace. She's the eldest sister of the family. And gosh, it is such a magical, fantastical journey that I really can't wait for people to see. So
see, I can tell when you've been trained well because you minimize that answer. That was really good. That was really good. But hey, at the end of the day, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of programs on, online and TV and stuff like that. What's a good reason for people to start watching Truth Be Told season 3 if they haven't caught up already?
Well, the great thing is it's an anthology series. So if you're just coming in, you can tune into season 3, go back and watch. I have tons of friends who are going back and binging the whole series. But what's really special about this season is that it's so true and it's so current and it's so relevant to the day and age we're living in now. So I think it's an important story. It's also truthful and relatable.
Like I said, the good thing about the show is that it's weekly, and it's, so at least we got a lot more weeks before we can determine what's going to happen with your character's fate. So it's all good. Let's hope we can talk if they greenlit a season 4. And see where it goes from there. Wherever you're at, take care, stay safe. We'll talk down the road.
Thank you.